Hey guys, wanted to make a quick video for, I guess, Twitter or YouTube eventually. Had another sort of input drop issue earlier today. Interestingly enough, this is the first time we've seen an input drop where the input is actually not interpreted, and actually what we'll see is completely interpreted incorrectly. But from the other two videos that you may have seen, I haven't posted them on YouTube publicly, but they are available through Twitter, and I'll probably make a compilation eventually. But yeah, this is the first time we are not seeing the actual input in the command buffer, and I'll show you once again. But we did, luckily, with live footage and recording, have two both the stream footage as well as the simulated what do you call it? Simulated back end sort of game inputs down there. So what you see on the screen right now is actually two different feeds. One is the in-game simulation, and the other one is the live feed of the input. So let me go ahead and show you how this works. So I've synced up both inputs, so you'll see a little bit of ghosting sometime. It's not perfect, but ultimately the frame data doesn't defer, and it's just small like desyncs a little bit every now and then. Basically one frame, realistically, imperceivable to humans. So that's perfectly fine. That's not the problem. So let me go ahead and quickly just show you how this sort of works. So if you look at the joystick in the background and buttons in the background, that is once again the live feed, what we're seeing while playing the game. So I tap up, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 frames later in the simulation, the game is interpreting the up, which is fine. Similar thing happens when I hit 1, okay? 1, state change, 1, 2, 3, 4. So roughly about 4 frames in just a second, you'll see that it actually speeds up to about 3 frames between the basically input delay of sort. Whether that be the back end like network code or the just physical game interpreting it, it's hard to say. But let's just say 3 frames of input lag, which I'm sure people will laugh at. But just for sake of purpose, this will come important later. So let me go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. So knowing that this Devil player really likes abusing basically electric, as he should be. Devil is a pretty good character nowadays. We make the read to basically commit to either a immediate 50-50. Once again, we've done a one check within his face, haven't hard committed, but ready to kind of rock and roll. So there's the forward. So let me go ahead and just show one more time. Forward state change. 1, 2, 3. So we're down to 3 frames. Okay, forward input, 1, 2, 3. There's our forward. Holding forward, input change. So when it comes to the input buffer, this is not a bug. Basically, it just measures changing. Basically, a negative edge is not interpreted by Tekken in any meaningful way. That will, just to give you a heads up. So there's the back, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the back was eaten up by the game. We don't see a back input, although we do see, once again, the command window will actually change on the input. So we're now into down back. 1, 2, 3. There's our down back. Down. 1, 2, 3. Now we're in down forward. So let's count from the down forward position. 1, 2, 3. Okay, down forward. Okay, so we fall into neutral. Once again, will not be properly interpreted by the game when it comes to showing it, although the game does take it into consideration. And actually, whoops, I skipped ahead a little too far. So similar situation. So we go from down to down forward. We hit the 3. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. The 3 is interpreted as a down input. If you look at the joystick input, the joystick has fallen to neutral. So with 1 frame of state change from full crouch to 3, I guess would either be interpreted as full crouch 3 or wall stand 3, depending on like network latency. Typically, there should be a neutral frame in between the 3 for a wall stand 3, so there's a probably good chance this would be interpreted as FC3. But once again, 0, 1, 2, 3, the game interprets this as a down. So this is the first time, like I said, where the game has not have a record of the proper input whatsoever. We've seen it thus far in Season 4 quite often, that the game will once again interpret it. It will skip options. So like for instance, a buffered 1+2 will interpret to a 1. Wall Stand 2 on punishment gets eaten up. Once again, this is the first one where the game completely flubs the interpretation on the input. So once again, R3 is not interpreted by the game, and instead, for some reason, we get a down, even though there is no down input in our input in the actual real game and not the simulation. Hopefully, that sheds a little bit of light. I didn't want to give the whole like YouTube outro thing, but be sure to share on Twitter the I think it's like a Tekken season 4 bug or whatever. I don't have the exact thing. I'm gonna go ahead and post that in a second here. But please share it. You don't have to, don't post it in my videos, but please share on Twitter if you're having any sort of input drops and whatnot. But yeah, it seems to happen quite often in season 4. Hopefully, this sheds a little bit of light. Later, guys.